What did we say on Tuesday's show? We wanted 5 innings from Will Warren and like 2 or 3 runs. What did we get?
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. With me, as usual, is my co-host, Brian McKeon. Brian, how are we doing?
Death by 1,000 paper cuts, Stacey.
Yeah. Before we get started, don't forget, subscribe to Locked On Yankees on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like our videos, hit the bell so you're notified whenever our videos go live. We passed 8,700 subscribers on Tuesday. Yay!
Finally.
So thank you for that. That's fantastic. On today's show, we preview the finale in Cleveland, starring Carlos Rodon. Please pitch well, Carlos. We have injury news, transactions that happened on Tuesday, one of them slightly shocking. We'll get into that in segment 2. We will also talk about Fernando Cruz and how he turned things around in spring training. And we have to talk about the loss that happened on Tuesday night in Cleveland, because what did we say on Tuesday's show? We wanted 5 innings from Will Warren and like 2 or 3 runs. What did we get?
You got 5+ and less than 2 or 3 runs. He was good. He was really good, actually. I didn't have a problem with the way he pitched. They went to the bullpen. I think he deserved to get into the 6th inning, which is what Boone let him do. And then 2 kind of weak singles gave Boone the indication that he was done. I didn't have a problem with the way it was managed at all. And It's weird, too, because Leiter comes in and gets the best hitter in Cleveland's lineup out. And they still get bit by, quite frankly, a guy who's played really well this year so far and been a somewhat of a bright spot. Escara just fielded the ball completely wrong. He went to pick at a ball in the dirt and didn't get his chest in front of it, and that's what caused the run to score. That's, hate to be that guy, but that's catching 101 right there. Ball in the dirt, get your chest in front of it. You don't pick at it with your glove. He picked at it with his glove, and you see what happens. And then it felt like the last couple innings of this game, the Yankees had plenty of opportunities to come back and get back into it, and they just couldn't do it. They couldn't hit the pitching. They couldn't. Some good at-bats, but also some really bad at-bats.
That ninth inning, I wanted to put my fist through a wall.
Yeah, Anthony Volpe's at-bat in the 8th, where they had the best chance, was just an awful strikeout. I mean, he swung at a ball that was not even close to the plate. And I want to mention this, too, because we haven't given this storyline enough heat, and we need to start bringing some attention to it. Jazz Chisholm Jr. is not hitting, and I'm glad that the home run stroke is there for him. He's certainly got 7 home runs this year, 15 RBIs. He's driven in runs with sac flies, and he's hit the home runs, and I'm glad he's got that going for him. But Stacey, he's not hitting. I mean, he's hitting 150 on the year, and we said this last year during Jazz's struggles. We brought it up at the end of the year last year when he wasn't hitting, when he started to struggle a little more. Jazz, to a little less of an extent than Marcus Stroman, very similar to Marcus Stroman, likes to tell you how good he is and likes to let you know how good he is, and certainly is not bereft of any confidence. And that's totally fine by me if you're actually hitting. But I don't want to hear anything about the 7 home runs and the power and how you're competing with Aaron Judge for most home runs in the league. That's all good and well. Aaron Judge is also hitting .410. Jazz is not. So those numbers have to be improved on a lot. We haven't talked about it a lot, but Bellinger, although his average is low, it seems like his at-bats are getting better. Chisholm's aren't.
Right.
Chisholm's aren't. That's becoming a problem.
It is. Yeah, he's batting 159, which right now is my ideal weight. So that's not great for Jazz. And like you said, he's doing things. He had the sac fly that gave them the second run, but it can't be all or nothing. We need some, especially with Jazz, you can get on base and do things and make things happen on the bases.
Well, that's what we always say is that's what's frustrating about Anthony Volpe and his OBP being so low is if Volpe could have the average he has, if his on base was higher, he could affect the game in more ways by running on the base paths, and he's an excellent base runner. Both of those guys not getting on base at the clip that you need them to, that's what hurts the Yankees even more. Those guys are, on base machines, and when they are on base, I mean, you saw what a guy like Kwanda did on the base paths against the Yankees earlier in the game. Him being on second base made enough of an emphasis of the Yankees to try and keep and rushing to try and get him out of the base paths. He went up scoring from second base. Having guys like that on base makes other teams nervous defensively. You could just tell. So, and the Yankees have those guys in their lineup, but they're not getting on base, and that's a major problem.
Yeah. The Volpe thing is really frustrating because this is his third full season now, and he really needs to start getting things together. We talk about how he would be the perfect leadoff hitter if he could get on base, because he's the type of guy that if he does get on base, it's almost as if the guys behind him don't even need to do anything, because he could steal a base and then, maybe like a single and he'll score. Like they don't have to do much of anything behind him. And it's just so frustrating. And Jazz is the same way. And if those guys can get it together, we don't need them to hit a ton of home runs. We just need them to, and I say collective we as fans watching the game, to not get frustrated. We just need them to get on base, so we're not complaining about them every game.
I was watching the game with my sister, who was the same age as Anthony Volpe, and she was talking about, how young he is, and it's incredible that he's in the league at this age, and he's going to be 24 years old at the end of the month. How amazing it is and stuff. And I agree with you. At 23 years old, it's incredible that he's, playing at the major league level and stuff. And we think about it of him being so young and at this level and the level of talent that it takes. But, right now, Anthony Volpe's numbers, Michael Kay mentioned this in the broadcast, are exactly at par with an average Major League Baseball player. Mm-hmm. When you're 23 years old, call out to the big leagues and a top-tier prospect that was unmovable at trade deadlines, you need to be better than an average baseball player. You do, and I'm not saying in year one or even year two that you need to be at the level, but Stacey, by year three, I got to see some improvements. And we're again, it's early in the season. We're not even in May yet, but we're not seeing those improvements. Quite frankly, Anthony Volpe looks like he hasn't picked up from last year. He looks like the same player as last year, and that's a little concerning. Again, I know he's only going to be 24 years old very soon, but the Yankees clearly believed in him enough to have him play at the big leagues at 21 years old. So let's see some improvements. It's now or never, almost, it feels like.
Yeah. Ben Rice hits the first pitch that he sees in his first full game back, because he was in Monday's game, but he didn't start Monday's game. So his first full game back, first pitch he sees, sends it over the wall in left field to give the Yankees a lead. Doesn't miss a beat. Unbelievable what he's doing so far. And yes, as we've mentioned a few times already, it's still only April, but what he's doing is incredible, considering what his season was like last year, where you had glimpses of this, but now this is like regular goings on. Like, besides Judge, Ben Rice is right under him.
He's their second best hitter. He's been that good for them, especially because the average is there with Ben Rice too. It's funny. We've at points of at certain weeks of the season so far, we've mentioned the pitching being a struggle, and it is true. But the pitching hasn't been a struggle of late. The last couple of games now, they've pitched well. The bullpen hasn't been terrible. The starters haven't been bad. We brought this up earlier. Will Warren,
Clark Schmidt gave up 5 runs though.
No, but the Max Fried starts have been incredible. Carlos Rodon's last start was incredible. Yeah. And Will Warren, we've mentioned this, if he can give you consistent starts, that's all you need out of him. You need 5 innings, that's all you need, and he gave you that. These are the games that you have to win. You can't lose these games when you get a good start like that. So, Max Fried's next start will be on Saturday. Carlos Rodon will pitch in tomorrow, into later today's game. These are games that, again, stopgap situation here. That's what Carlos Rodon has to be. He has to be able to get a win in Cleveland on your getaway day, take the day off the next day, and then be ready for a weekend series against a Toronto team that's going to come in looking to beat you. By the way, I'll be in the building on Saturday for Max Fried's start in the Bronx. In section, I'm in the bleachers, 237. So very excited to see Max Fried in the pinstripes live for the first time. But,
don't tell them that. People are going to come up to you.
Oh, yeah. But you just need this consistency, and we talked about the importance of getting starts like that, Stacey. You got it from Will Warren. That's what's frustrating with this loss. This isn't a Will Warren 5 innings, 4 runs. He crawled through.
No, this is an offensive failure. It's an offensive failure. Yeah, they had opportunities to help him out. Yeah. The one guy who didn't fail, really, Judge, 4 hits, back over 400. It's his 12th
411.
career 4-hit game, and it would be the 4th time that he's had 4 hits in a game and failed to homer, but he has not had, or he does not have a 5-hit game in his career yet.
It's crazy how the homers have dropped off, but he's still hitting at a remarkable rate. It's unbelievable.
He's turned into one of the better all-around players. He also stole a base. I mean, he's just really, really good. The final numbers on Warren: 2 runs, struck out 5, which is good too. But like I said at the top, we wanted 5. That's what we asked for on yesterday's show, and that's exactly what he gave us. So well done, Will Warren. What do we want from Carlos Rodon? 7?
You want to get into the 6 plus.
Yeah. All right. We want 6 plus from you, Carlos. So please get that done. And speaking of getting things done, don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notifications so you know when our videos go up. You can also join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. The link is in the description. You get text from us. You can text us questions, comments, reactions to trades and signings. We send out the lineups during the season, roster moves, and any breaking news so you don't have to check social media. There's a 14-day free trial. Coming up, we're going to talk about how Fernando Cruz turned things around with one conversation. Next.
Get the supplies you need from the site that's made for the skilled trades. It's Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400-plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. If you need help with an order, Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for the extra edge, their free TradeMaster program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts available on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage, and now it's your turn. Join the TradeMaster program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, you can use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. And thanks again for making Locked On Yankees your first listen. Remember that every Friday is Fan Mail Friday. You can leave questions underneath the pinned comment on our videos Monday through Thursday, or you can join that Locked On Yankees Insiders Club to get top priority on Fan Mail Friday. The link is in our description. So, Stacey, the trade went through last year with Cincinnati for the Yankees to acquire Fernando Cruz. And a little bit different. They got rid of Trevino, who they had improved into a platinum glove winning catcher. And it felt like a risky trade. Now, the Yankees it kind of felt like one of those trades where the Yankees felt like they could fix Cruz. They saw something in his analytics that they knew, and it wasn't working in Cincinnati for him. They're starting to prove that, and you were debating how you felt about that in spring when he was 0-2 with a 9.95 ERA in 7 appearances. Not sure how you felt about the way that he looked. Now, he is a strikeout guy, and he wasn't getting strikeouts in spring. Little concerning. And this story came out earlier today on MLB.com that apparently slightly into spring training, he was approached by the Yankees coaching staff, particularly who was it? It was the Yankees.
Mike Harkey.
Mike Harkey. Yeah. Why was that name escaping my head? Where basically he was just told, stop trying to throw it a million miles an hour and just go out there and pitch. He did that, and it completely turned things around for him. He said that he, in part was also working on some things in spring training, which is what me and Stacey were telling you really all offseason, to stop worrying about guys that were struggling in spring. But a 9 ERA is a 9 ERA still. That's really, that is a little bit of concern. Stacey, now this year, through 12 innings at the major league level, he's got a 2.25 ERA with 19 strikeouts in 12 innings. I mean, he's been everything as advertised, a complete flip from what he was at the start of spring training and really through the start of the season. I don't know how this has happened. I can't imagine it's as easy as Harkey being like, hey, get your bleep together. But that's basically what he said, and it's worked out tremendously to this point.
I think Cruz probably put pressure on himself because he was joining the Yankees because, guys have spoken about that before. no matter what people say about the Yankees, there are a lot of players who, like, one of their main goals as a baseball player is to play for the New York Yankees. Like, they still have a good
Prominence.
standing in baseball. They're prominent,
Yeah.
and no matter what people say about how they've performed in the last 20 years, if you ask any player which team they'd want to play for, it would be the Yankees, because
there's
one of the most
multiple
storied franchises in baseball.
There's a lot of franchises like this in sports, right? Real Madrid, Manchester United, the Cowboys, the Lakers. There's a lot of players that just grow up wanting to play for certain organizations. The Yankees are one of them. And it's funny, he's an older pitcher who, I mean, definitely has great strikeout stuff. But, and again, we always do say that guys use spring training to work on stuff. And generally with guys like Carlos Rodon or Max Fried or Garrett Cole, you don't worry as much when they're working, because they are working on stuff in spring training. And when Garrett Cole gets left for 5 runs in a spring training game, you're not as concerned, because it happens. He's working on things fine. But, Fernando Cruz doesn't necessarily have this outstanding reputation. Let's be real. If these numbers stayed consistent at this point in the regular season, he might have been the guy getting DFA'd today. So it really is such an alarming. They're now using him after, again, a near 10 ERA in spring training. They're now using him in really big spots in games to get big outs. He's getting really big strikeouts. Again, his strikeout numbers are absurd. It is still early in the season. But this is a remarkable turnaround from last year and from how he came into spring training. You thought maybe this guy's career was just over, and he has completely turned things around in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, it's impressive. I really do think it was a combination of the pressure of being with the Yankees and wanting to impress everyone, because that also has to come into play too. When you come over to the Yankees, you kind of want to make a good impression, because you're going to be part of a bullpen that was pretty good toward the end of last season and into the postseason, and you want to make a good impression. And I think he was just putting too much pressure on himself and wanting to throw the heck out of the ball. And I like that Harkey was basically like, no, don't do that. Just pitch. Because sometimes guys just need to hear that. Honestly, It's just a simple conversation with someone that kind of like lets you breathe and lets you relax and be like, okay, this is what I need to do. And then you just do it.
It's also funny how major leaguers need to be reminded. I remember when, as a kid, the coaches would always remind us, you don't have to go out there and throw the ball 150 miles an hour. Your body weight will take care of the velocity as long as you're locating. And it's funny how major leaguers still need to be reminded of that, because he was going out there trying to throw the ball over 100 miles an hour, and he was basically told, slow it down. Your velocity's there. And now he's throwing 98, which is still just as effective, but he's locating better. It's a remarkable turnaround. It really is.
Yeah, I'm impressed by him so far. I mean, especially the 19 strikeouts in 12 innings. That's a good
let's see.
ratio.
That's a tough pace to keep up at this point. Let's see if he'll slow down or not. But he's been a great addition to a bullpen that's been really solid, honestly. Right? I mean, they've gotten good production out of Luke Weaver so far. Devin Williams has, struggled to figure things out, but overall he's been pretty good too. Tim Hill's been a terrific signing to bring him back. Overall, their bullpen's been really good, and he's been one of the key pieces as an addition to this bullpen.
By the way, Devin Williams, they made a change in one of the scoring plays during his outing on Saturday. So his ERA is actually not 9, it's in the 7s, because they changed something for him. Because for some reason, the scorers in Tampa like changing things after they win. So because they put up on the broadcast on Tuesday, because Emmanuel Clase is not having a good season. And you've seen that so far with Cleveland, where they've had Cade Smith come out.
They're not even using him. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not using him because his ERA, I believe it was a 7.84 right now. He is not doing well. And, Devin Williams is also having his own issues as the closer. But the rest of the bullpen, as you said, I mean, Tim Hill, I'm going to say this till I'm, blue in the face. He came over from the White Sox, right? Yeah. He was DFA'd by the White Sox, who lost 121 games in 2024. And He made it into the World Series with the Yankees. Should have pitched in game 1 of the World Series, but he made it into the World Series with the Yankees, and now he's one of their elite closers. He's another one of those guys where you see Tim Hill come in and you think to yourself, all right, I feel relaxed because Tim Hill's in. He'll be fine.
Before we move on to the Yankees transactions in the next segment, I have a question and a statement for you. Which one would you like to hear first?
Statement.
The statement is the Yankees analytics staff and pitching department deserve a ton of credit for Tim Hill, for acquiring him, for knowing to pick him up off of waivers when he was DFA'd by the White Sox. A massive amount of credit. I mean, you're saying this guy was pitching big innings in the World Series, should have been pitching one bigger inning in the World Series, but regardless, was pitching in big spots in the World Series, and you had the utmost confidence in him and bringing him back for the money that they got him back for. Unbelievable job out of the Yankees. And a question for you. Is there a spot right now that you don't trust Tim Hill in?
No. I would trust him as a closer at this point.
Think about that. Rest on that, Yankee fans, how impressive that move is, that there is not a spot you don't trust Tim Hill in. Amazing stuff.
Actually, you know what? If you're watching this on YouTube, leave your answer in the comments if you have an answer for that question.
Is there a pitcher right now, other than Luke Weaver, is there a pitcher in a big spot you trust more than Tim Hill?
Yeah.
Because I don't think there is one.
Right. All right, coming up, we'll preview the finale between the Yankees and Guardians in Cleveland, and we will also let you know about some transactions. One of them was shocking, and we also have a rehab assignment that we need to let you know about because that was also shocking. We'll talk about it all next.
Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. And plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller for longer. There's a variety of great flavors, including jalapeno lime, chili roasted, and smoky barbecue. And you can also get lightly salted or unsalted if your taste buds aren't quite ready for the bold of flavors that are out there. Now, personally, I'm a no-shells variety kind of guy. It's the perfect grab-and-go snack for busy days. And whether I'm snacking at my desk or on a road trip or I just need that quick protein boost, they're always my go-to. And if you love cracking open every shell for that satisfying crunch, the in-shell options are also a classic favorite. And whether you're running between meetings or dropping off the kids, Wonderful Pistachios are the snack that works as hard as you do. So get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. And guys, not only do we cover your team every day, but now we're giving you instant episodes after every single Yankees game. You can check out the Locked On Yankees postcast. It's hosted by Jay Berman right here on the Locked On Yankees podcast feed. Get rapid reaction to all the biggest moments with the Locked On Yankees postcast. Stacey, some clerical work before we move on to the transactions the Yankees made and the rehab assignments. Game 3 of the series will be later on today at 1:10. It's a 1:10 game. It's on Yes, though. It's not an Amazon Prime game, which most Wednesdays are, so that might be confusing. It'll be Carlos Rodon, who's 2-3 with a 4.34 ERA. He'll go up against Luis Ortiz, who's 2-2 with a 5.48 ERA. The Yankees will have off on Thursday, and they'll come home for a weekend set against Toronto. Stacey, just some quick moves that happened. A little bit of surprising move the Yankees really weren't expecting. They did sign the lefty Tyler Matzik to a major league contract, selected him to the active roster, so he'll move to the active roster. They responded to make the roster spot move available by designating Yondris Gomez for an assignment. That pitcher who actually pitched well for them his last appearance. Very shocking to see that happen. From last I've seen, it looks like he is going to clear waivers, so he will be designated to whatever minor league facility they send him to. But very weird move.
Yeah, I think it's that sort of move where they expect him to clear the waivers and he'll go to Scranton and hang out there and then be the guy that if they need him to come up, he will. I know that they were impressed with Tyler Matzik in spring training. But I was actually surprised about this move when I saw it. I was kind of like, didn't Gomez pitch the other day and pitch really well? What are they doing here?
For multiple innings.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
this is just a
So
clerical move. Unless it's just
I
a clerical move because they used him for so many innings and they need arms.
I think so. I think that might be what it is. It's not like a personal thing against him at all. I think that that's the kind of move it is. They also transferred the rehab assignment for Clayton Beater, who I completely forgot about, from single A Tampa to double A Somerset. So Clayton Beater is on his way back from injury. And
Yeah.
speaking of coming back from injury and playing
Yeah,
in
Tony Gwynn
Somerset.
Jr. Tony Gwynn Jr. made it back for. I'm sorry, DJ LeMahieu is back playing for Somerset in a rehab assignment. But tell us what he did. That's what's more impressive.
DJ LeMahieu hit a double and a home run. He went 3 for 3 with 2 runs batted in on Tuesday night for Somerset. They also had him playing second base, which is interesting. I don't see them as badly as Jazz is hitting. He's doing well defensively. It's not affecting him defensively, which,
Not
you
at
see
all.
that with some players. So
Gleyber
I
Torres.
I think I think that when DJ comes up, he will be third base.
Who
Right?
knows? Honestly, who knows? I mean, I haven't been that impressed that if anything they've gone at third base yet. So I mean, yeah, but you're right. I think the day he's activated, he's also in the lineup.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, if I were a betting gal, I would bet that, but I'm not, so I won't. Luis Heel, we didn't discuss this, but as of April 16th, his throwing program was delayed another 10 days because the Yankees didn't like what they saw on his latest imaging. So he should, if all goes well, begin that throwing program by this weekend. So by April 26th, he should be throwing, and hopefully things will improve on the imaging. Because I forgot to put that in the rundown last week. So I apologize for that. So in case you
Yeah, I
need an
don't think
update on that.
I didn't feel the need to bring it up just because it didn't feel like he's still on his normal schedule. And remember, a few weeks ago, it was reported that Luis Hill was ahead of schedule. All this imaging did was put him back to at normal schedule. He's not delayed to come back. He's not delayed length. He's on normal schedule to return. So I wouldn't be too concerned if you're a Yankee fan reading that.
Right. Yeah. No, I just figured we'd report that because we reported about how he was early and now he's basically on time. So when they say delayed, that's what they mean. So everything is according to schedule now. It's just he was ahead of schedule a couple of weeks ago, but he should be okay. And there's another person on his way back. Giancarlo Stanton started hitting and running. By the way, please be careful with your running, sir. And he hit BP in Cleveland on Tuesday before the game. Now, there's still not a clear timetable for his return, but he is moving in the right direction. And
they don't have a date for a rehab assignment either, by the way.
Yeah, I think my theory might be correct. I think that when Stanton comes back, Escara is going to be the one to go, and Ben Rice is going to be the backup catcher.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I do think not playing Ben Rice at catcher yet is a little peculiar when it comes to that, but I don't know how you make room for Ben Rice not on this team. Even Giancarlo Stanton.
You have to have him on the team.
And Giancarlo Stanton actually, to his credit, took time out of his interview and actually praised the way Ben Rice has played. Apparently, he told Meredith Marakovitz that he loves the way Ben Rice has played and really praised him. So Ben Rice ain't going nowhere, guys.
No.
Yankees gonna have to figure this one out on their own.
Definitely not. And Ben Rice also returned the favor because they asked him about Stanton being on the way back, and he's like, "This team is better with Giancarlo Stanton."
And he's right. He's right.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to find space for it. I don't think that every day they're gonna want up playing Ben Rice at catcher. I think what they're gonna end up doing, honestly, is giving Stanton a lot of off time to come back.
Oh yeah.
This will bother a lot of people. Stanton will play in his first game back off the IL, and they'll rest him the next day. Watch, and it'll bother a lot of people.
Yeah. And Ben Rice would be the backup catcher. You might see him once a week back there, and then see him as DH on days that Stanton can't do it. I mean, they're going to have to figure something out to get Ben Rice in there. Maybe by the time Stanton comes back, Goldschmidt falls off and he's not playing well, and then Ben Rice can play first. Who knows? But Ben Rice
They have a
anywhere.
lot of answers. They have a lot of answers they're going to have to make.
Yeah, because you also have there was no update, but you also have Jonathan Loizaga's on his way back to the bullpen too.
Yeah, and you have to make clerical room for him too. Yeah, there's a lot of answers they're going to have to come up with, and it's not going to be easy. There's only a certain amount of roster spots, and again, Giancarlo Stanton, due to the production that he has out of his at bat, plus the financial elements that are there, he's going to have to make his way on the roster somehow.
Yep. Ask that question of our viewers again about Tim Hill, so we can remind them to leave that below.
Yeah, leave a question in our comments. Is there a pitcher in the Yankee bullpen right now that you trust more than Tim Hill in a big spot? The only one that I think in contention right now is Luke Weaver. That's it. Other than that, give me one name that you trust more in a big spot than Tim Hill. And that should be a testament to all you guys to start thinking about what a job the Yankee front office did in acquiring him.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you've noticed the past couple of weeks, you've seen a squad show in our feed on Tuesdays. It is recorded every Monday night. It's a bunch of Locked On MLB hosts from different teams talking about different topics. So if you've noticed that in our feed and have been like, what is that? That's what it is. And you might see one of us pop up on it one week. I was on last week, wasn't on this week because we were recording at the same time as the squad show. So you might see us on there and, give it a watch and give it a listen. So that'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll catch you tomorrow.